Hello and welcome to another video, and much like I did earlier this week when I did a video on Sony's State of Play June 4th, this is a video encapsulating the Xbox 2025 game showcase. I have just finished watching it. I'm going to be a little different on this one. Normally I would sit here, I'd go through all the announcements in order, and I would tell you my thoughts on like what I think is exciting, what I don't think is exciting, whatnot. I'm not going to do that for this video because I really feel like this year was a incredible make or break it moment for this brand. And we've talked about time and time again on this channel, between my videos, between the podcast, Microsoft with this Xbox brand is in an incredibly difficult situation right now. Just they have brand identity crisis, right? Like it seems like at times they don't know what they're doing with this brand, and yet they continue to tread forward with it. Like, it's really bizarre. And so more than any showcase, I feel like the weight was so heavy on this brand and on them to really deliver a promising showcase. And while Microsoft has had many a fumble in the last several years, this showcase in particular is easily, in my opinion, their biggest fumble. This showcase, and I'm just going to straight up say from the top, was awful. I'm not going to mince words. I'm not going to be nice about it. It sucked. It really sucked. And I'll get into my reasons why, but I want to at least highlight the couple things here that were exciting to me that, like, yeah, I'll play that, or wow, that's interesting. An announcement for High on Life 2. I love the original High on Life, even though this was an all CG trailer. I like the direction the game's going. I like that you're skating now. That's cool. They're promising winter 2025. This will be a 2026 game, but the fact that it exists, cool. Like, I kind of figured they'd make a sequel to it because the first one was very well received, very enjoyable, funny game. So The Outer Worlds 2, obviously they're going to talk more about it after at this direct thing. I'm not even watching that, if I'm being honest, because like I'm already sold on The Outer Worlds 2. I don't need to see any more of it. That's another one here that I would say would be exciting. Even though it's been heavily rumored, finally getting the announcement that Persona 4 Revival is real. Very exciting. I will play that when it comes out. That's probably still my favorite Persona game. So that is very, very exciting. I loved the Tony Hawk launch trailer, but again, that's a game that comes out a month from now. But I thought the trailer was awesome. I am excited about Chronos: The New Dawn. I will definitely check that game out. Huge horror fan, so that game looks cool. Already knew about it though. This Game Freak game, yes, the people that make Pokemon games are making a new game called Beast of Reincarnation. It looked kind of interesting. There's Indiana Jones DLC coming, cool. Ninja Gaiden 4 got a release date, sure. As far as announcements for me, man, that's kind of it. Like, so let's get into what sucked about this. Why I'm gonna straight up say, and you'll see it in the title of this video. This is the worst showcase Xbox has ever had. It is, and it's never been more telling where this brand is right now. Brand has been circling the drain for the last year, ever since they decided, hey, we're going to port these 4 games over to PlayStation. Now we're not going to port them. Now we are. Then they did do it. Then it was like, well, maybe we'll do 4 more. Then it became, fuck it, we're just going to do everything and go third party. But we still have a box and an ecosystem, but we can't really define that. It's been a disastrous year for Xbox. Being an Xbox fan has never been harder. Like, the 2013 fiasco pales in comparison to what it's like now, because it's just like, why would you even want an Xbox? This is the same brand who, at the beginning of last month decided to raise the price of their console $100, yet their direct competitor, which is beating them in sales 5-1, not only didn't do that, they put their console on sale for the first half of this month. It is ridiculous. And So going into the showcase, I was like, all right, maybe we're gonna get some hard dates for like Perfect Dark, Fable, anything. We'll see a new Halo, something like that. Gears E-Day could get a release date. None of those were here. None of them. Perfect Dark, nowhere to be seen. A new Halo, nope. Fable, fuck yeah, get the fuck out of here. No Fable. None of them were at this. The core pillars that make up the Xbox as a brand were not represented in any way at this showcase. Instead, what we were presented with was like an hour to an hour and a half of what I would call filler. Just filler stuff. Indie games, a sequel to Grounded, like no offense, man, who cares? Like that was my response to a lot of these trailers. Like, who cares? We're making a fighting game for Invincible. That's makes no sense to me. Like, that's not going to sell. Thank God Game Pass exists because people will at least play it, but if that was just coming out to buy, nobody's buying that. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not even going to mince words. Nobody's going to buy that. Not a fighting game. That fan base is not big enough to support a fighting game. And I'm sure they banked a lot on this announcement. Final Fantasy VII is finally coming to Xbox this winter, but it's only Remake Intergrade, so it's not Rebirth. And also 16 is just out today, so there's a couple takeaways here. Number one, it proves that there were timed exclusivity deals on both of these games. We do know that 16 had a timed exclusivity deal on PC, came out a year later. So clearly, the timed exclusivity deal for the Xbox was 2 years. But it's finally out today. I would assume it's a full price $70 game, digital only. And then, of course, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which won't be out till this winter, which tells me that was a 5-year exclusivity deal. But it's finally coming. It makes sense because they announced it for the Switch too. So, like, at that point, it's like, come on, man, why won't you just put this out here and make money? Because there are Xbox fans, although I would love to know at this point, who is still a diehard Xbox fan that won't give it up, that watched this showcase and thought this was an A+, and that the brand's never been better. I cannot believe that person exists. I mean, I don't know what else to say in terms of stuff they showed. I mean... that weird game with the cat, There Are No Ghosts at the Grand, I thought that looked cool, but again, indie filler for Game Pass is what I would put that under. I think the most damning thing of this entire showcase and what really set me off was the very end, having Phil Spencer come out, having the little stupid rogue ally. That's another thing I should mention here is like, hey, the handheld that you think you want, but it's not actually what you think you want, is coming out this fall. And they're really excited to tell you about that. He had that in his hand, of course, ready to show. But then he makes this statement that, oh man, next year we're going to celebrate 25 years of Xbox. And they're going to celebrate it with, as he stated, a new Fable, a new Gears, which Gears E-Day, a new Forza, which was not announced today, and as they said, a return of a classic franchise that has been there since the beginning, which that's Halo. So you're going to sit here and tell me with a straight, sincere face that next year in 2026, you are going to launch Fable, a new Forza, Gears E-Day, and a new Halo. Supposedly it's probably the remake. We don't know what it is. All in the calendar year of 2026 to celebrate the 25th anniversary of this platform, but I still don't have Perfect Dark. You think there's no way anybody believes the bullshit that's coming out of this man's mouth anymore. I'm sorry. I was an Uncle Phil believer for a long time, but he broke that trust a long time ago. And at this point now, it's comical to watch them just come out and act like everything's okay. It's that meme with the little dog sitting with the cup of coffee and everything's burning around him and saying, I'm fine, everything's fine. That's what Microsoft is acting like, everything's fine. No, it's not, dude. Your brand is circling the drain. They're third, like heavily in third place. It's not like, oh, they're neck and neck with Nintendo or anything like that. No, they are like below the floor in terms of how far below they are from Nintendo, as Nintendo is in second place. Sometimes, you probably could argue they're in first place. But yeah, like take Nintendo out of the equation, again, we know statistically PlayStation is beating them in sales 5-1. I would have rather they came out here and just ripped off the Band-Aid completely and said, you know what? We're exiting the hardware, the hardware thing. We're done. It's over. You guys play these games, play them on PlayStation, play them on Switch, play them on Steam, wherever, they'll be there. But they can't do that. This is a disastrous showcase. And I know I sound like I'm being hyperbolic. I really promise you I'm not trying to be. But like, if I sit down and I think back, I've watched every Microsoft conference for the Xbox, every single one of them. And if I go back in my mind through all of them, there was at least 2 to 3 things I could pull out and be like, you know, wasn't the best year, but hey, they have this, they have that, they have something to show. They did not have that this year. And then to name drop those core pillar franchises at the end of your press conference and basically make a empty promise. It's an empty promise at this point, because what has Microsoft delivered? To make an empty promise. Oh, hey, we're going to have these 4 games have new releases in 2026 when you still haven't released Perfect Dark or State of Decay 3. I would have rather they came out here and just ripped off the Band-Aid completely and said, you know what? We're exiting the hardware, the hardware thing. We're done. It's over. You guys play these games, play them on PlayStation, play them on Switch, play them on Steam, wherever, they'll be there. But they can't do that. This is a disastrous showcase. And I know I sound like I'm being hyperbolic. I really promise you I'm not trying to be. But like, if I sit down and I think back, I've watched every Microsoft conference for the Xbox, every single one of them. And if I go back in my mind through all of them, there was at least 2 to 3 things I could pull out and be like, you know, wasn't the best year, but hey, they have this, they have that, they have something to show. They did not have that this year. And then to name drop those core pillar franchises at the end of your press conference and basically make a empty promise. It's an empty promise at this point, because what has Microsoft delivered? To make an empty promise. Oh, hey, we're going to have these 4 games have new releases in 2026 when you still haven't released Perfect Dark or State of Decay 3. That's the other one I was thinking of. That should have been here. Where was State of Decay? What's going on with that game? Why couldn't we show some of that game? Where is it? It's insane. You know, they talk like Matt Booty, the head of Xbox Games, who, in my opinion, he should be let go. He's not doing a good job. You have to have deadlines for things. You have to have games come out. And to continue to fuck around and say, well, we like to give the teams, you know, the time that they need to make these games. 8 years? 10 years? What's the return on these games, man? What's the return on something like State of Decay 3 at this point? Because I guarantee you that game's not going to break even at this point. Same with Perfect Dark. That game's not going to break even when it comes out. It's just, the whole thing, it's just shameful. And I came off this thing, I went into this showcase thinking like, you know, they'll probably have another year where they'll have some stuff that's cool, and maybe we'll get like a Perfect Dark trailer confirming a 2026 release. I thought we'd get a confirmed release date for Fable. I thought at least we'd talk about Gears E-Day here. None of these things, man. Just filler indie trailer after filler indie trailer. It's what a disappointing fucking hour of a showcase, man. Like, just holy shit. I have no words for how terrible that was. And then the thing that really got me, very, very end, they show a trailer for Black Ops 7. And I will get, until they showed what it was, I was invested in the trailer. I actually thought it was Control 2. Because they started doing some cool stuff at the end where like things were warped around, kind of like the oldest house. And I was like, okay, maybe this is the trailer for Control 2. We're going to get a confirmed new protagonist, all that. It's just Black Ops 7. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't believe it, man. It's wild to me how bad this showcase was and everything surrounding it. What a fucking joke. For me, it's an F. Like, I laugh because I'm texting buddies, I'm texting, Dan from the podcast and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I think it was like a C-. And I'm like, no, man, it's an F. Like, the fact that you didn't show any of these core pillar franchises, but then made an empty promise at the end that you're going to release new entries in all 4 of them in the calendar year of 2026 without anything to show for them here after years of making empty promises of this is when this is coming out. This is when this is coming out. This is all on the back of a console that you released in 2020 that had no brand new exclusive games for it at that time. There has never been a worse generation for Microsoft. And the sad part is, I would argue they have the best hardware this time around. Even as someone who owns a PlayStation 5 professional, and I don't think it's that great of a console. Like, I haven't seen enough for me to justify, like, yeah, that was worth how much we're charging. Time and time again, I've said, like, I love the Xbox Series X. The hardware is great. The games always play great on. I've had more issues with games locking up or crashing on a PS5. I don't think I've really had anything like that on the Xbox this generation. I've had my system since launch. I got my second Xbox Series X in 2022 that's in the office here. Like, I've never had issues with it, and it's a shame because there's not games for it. But hey, whatever. We're bringing those games over to PlayStation, so whatever. Yeah, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic about it, but this is the worst showcase they've ever had. It is a big fucking fat F for me, man. I will talk more about it on Friday. We'll get really down and dirty about it on the podcast on Friday. Well, we record on Friday, but you'll have it Saturday. But we will be getting down and dirty with everything E3, not E3 on this next podcast. But let me tell you, it's going to get interesting because I feel like I'm in the minority here on how bad this showcase was. So we'll see. Yeah, I've never been more disappointed in this brand than I am right now. So we'll see what happens. But that's going to do it for me. I'd love to know in the comments below, what did you think about this showcase? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was trash like me? Leave a comment in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.